Welcome back to Mario and Sonic 2019 Real Deal Games.
Wait, didn't we do Mario last week?
Yeah, but Sonic wasn't there. Isn't that right, Sonic?
Oh, you're just rehashing tried and true material.
Yeah, you're right, and now it's time for risky business.
Gotta go fast.
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Noah Bullard, previously a Real Deal host, now a Sonic furry enthusiast.
Wait.
Yeah?
Did you just say furry?
You've got to accept me for who I am now.
Nope. Oh, no. For the love of God, stop that.
It's the 21st century. If I want to be a furry, I will be a furry. You have to learn how to be more progressive.
All right, fine. As long as you don't cosplay as Dumbo, we're fine.
Oh, I have to go change some plans then.
That'll give Nate some time to talk about his review of Dumbo. Nate?
I was pretty excited for Tim Burton's reimagining of Dumbo, not only because the original holds a place near and dear to my heart, but also because the trailers were quite impressive, and I thought this could be a return to form for Burton, after directing a slew of films ranging from mediocre to awful. The circus is right in his wheelhouse, so what could go wrong with Dumbo? There's one important thing to realize with Dumbo, and it's this. It comes from the writer of two of the worst Transformers movies, as well as that crappy movie where Scarlett Johansson plays an Asian cyborg. Yikes. Dumbo himself is quite adorable, and when the film actually focuses on him, it's certainly not bad. In fact, it's genuinely sweet, and I'll admit, I did actually cry during one particular scene. That's because the first half of this movie is pretty good. It feels small in scale, and it never felt like it gets too carried away with itself. It's not until Michael Keaton and Eva Green step in when the movie starts to take a steep decline in quality. Dumbo is one of the biggest disappointments of the year thus far. The film focuses on these uninteresting human characters instead of, the titular elephant. Everything with Dumbo feels just thrown to the side in favor of whatever is going on with Colin Farrell, his kids, his grumpy boss, Danny DeVito, his evil new boss, Michael Keaton, and his forced romance with Eva Green. And look, I love all of those actors, and I just listed, but honestly, nobody here gives a memorable performance, like at all. And I have no clue what Michael Keaton was trying to do, but it just wasn't working. Plus, Academy Award-winning actor Alan Arkin is here too for a short bit, playing the same character he plays in every other movie and TV show he's in. Neat. The themes of the movie are also a bit odd, considering it has a big anti-corporation message, yet it's from Disney, who just bought a movie studio which resulted in thousands of people losing their jobs. So excuse me if I find it hypocritical that they're lecturing me on why big business is bad. I'm just saying. There are some other things that the film did do right, though. Aesthetically, the film is beautiful. The set design, the costumes, the animals themselves all look great. Honestly, I'm surprised by how good it looked, considering how ugly Burton's Alice in Wonderland film looked. Unfortunately, despite a genuinely solid first half, Dumbo just didn't live up to my expectations. I definitely think kids will love it, and the audience I saw it with seemed to eat it up. In fact, they clapped at the end of the movie, because I don't know. But honestly, I just felt let down. I'm gonna give Dumbo 2.5 stars out of 5. Until next time, I'm Nate Richard.
Thank you, Nate. Your review of Dumbo was great, but as a member of the Furry Scaly Alliance, you shouldn't be insulting Dumbo with that attitude.
No, say what you want to say, Nate. Let your voice be heard.
If his voice can be heard, then mine can be too.
Not yours, never yours, but we can both hear from Noah.
Oh, so me.
No, wrong Noah. Noah Bush, take it away.
For some reason, I've been avoiding listening to Billie Eilish. Was it because she scared me a little? Who's to say? But then last Friday, she released her debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I took that as the perfect opportunity to listen to her music, and I was blown away from the very beginning. I'm not going to talk about every song, just my favorites and the ones worth mentioning. She opens the album with I've Taken Out My Invisalign and This Is the Album, and segues into Bad Guy, which she released a music video for on the same day. In the song, she taunts her unnamed lover and calls herself the bad guy. Duh. You Should See Me in a Crown was the album's lead single, and on it, Eilish laments over her conflicting fame and self-hate. The title taken from a line by Moriarty from the BBC show Sherlock. At first listen, Wish You Were Gay seems to be about Eilish's own sexuality, but is actually about how she felt about a boy not liking her back. She wanted there to be a reason for his unreciprocated love. Ironically, after she wrote the song, she found out that he actually was gay. Bury a Friend is written from the perspective of the monster living under her bed. Lyrics like step on the glass, staple your tongue only build on her creepy and pale aesthetic. With music and visuals so unsettling, I could have only imagined what Billie was like in real life. And to base her personality solely on her music would be completely wrong. She's fun, she's witty, and she's just an all-around very down-to-earth girl who loves making music. Billie starts her When We All Fall Asleep world tour at Coachella and finishes at the iHeartRadio Festival in Las Vegas. For Billie Eilish fans everywhere, I'm Noah Bush.
Thanks, Better Noah. Wait a second.
Sounds about right.
I'm not going to sit by anymore and listen to this crap flying around about furries saying they're cuddle maniacs in fursuits, they cuddle in fursuits and all this crap. How much you want to bet the people even put this crap out haven't even...
I choose you as champion.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Are you for real?
Say
Okay! Shazam?
Folks in this town want blacks to stay in their own schools.
I'm here to protect my family, so all the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
We're here trying to understand each other for once and stop fighting.
This here does the talking for me.
I have a Bible.
Well, then you ought to know.
No, what?
Same God made you, made me.
Sometimes there are necessary evils for the greater good.
In the woods today, LA discovered a charming little landmark. The pet cemetery.
Place to bury our pets and remember them. Might seem scary, but it's not. Perfectly natural. Just like dying is natural.
The whole town's been using this place for generations. Folks make a kind of ritual out of it.
You cut me off.
You know what?
Let me guess. You're disappointed in me, blah, blah, blah. You hate furries, blah, blah, blah.
No, actually, I've come around.
Wait, you listened to my 15-minute rant during the commercial break?
Yeah, I'm not a furry, but I'm something better. I'm a scaly.
Fair enough. I wonder who else would like to be in our Real Deal Furry Scaly Alliance.
I don't know. I heard that Tiara really likes cats, though. Let's hear what she has to say. Tiara?
I wish I was coming here with a review of Love Island Season 2, but I'm not. In fact, I had a completely different topic planned for today until Sunday morning, and I watched the most important documentary I've literally ever seen and ever will see for the rest of my life. It's called Catwalk, Tales of the Cat Show Circuit, and no, Tales is not spelled like cattails, and I think we really missed out on an opportunity for that. Anyway, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's about Canadian cat owners who take their cats to cat shows, which aren't really like dog shows, like obstacle courses and the whole thing, because if you know what cats are like, they won't do that. We even see it in the documentary. These two cats do not care about the obstacle course at all. Instead, it's more like a beauty pageant. The cats have to be perfectly groomed and brushed and combed, and there's so much drama between the two heavyweights of the Canadian cat show circuit, Kim, who has the cutest little Turkish Angora Bobby, and Shirley, who has this massive unit of a red Persian, Ooh La La. Like, I feel like Kim was always about 3.5 minutes from going berserk and violently sabotaging Shirley. Each laugh after she told a self-deprecating joke was a cry for help. I do not think that woman will be okay if Bobby does not win the next year of cat shows. But that's besides the point. Catwalk is actually a really sweet and wholesome documentary about people who love cats. And anyone who knows me knows that I love cats, and my favorite thing about this is the fact that, yeah, being so serious about cat shows is a little silly, but people really love it, and they love their cats too. And they may look like stereotypical cat ladies or whatever, but they do have lives and families outside of their cats. The cat shows are just a hobby they really enjoy. And at the end, it turns out Kim and Shirley were actually really sweet to one another. And there was a retirement party thrown for Ooh La La, and it was such a cute and sweet moment. And there are other women who we see throughout the documentary, and they have cute stories and cuter cats. One woman wrote a haiku about her cat sitting in a window, and I think I relate to that woman the most. But anyway, Catwalk is truly the sweetest, most endearing thing I've ever seen. And if you love cats just as much as I do, you might want to check it out. Bring tissues if you're prone to crying at everything like I am, because the wholesomeness of the entire thing will bring you to tears. That's it for me this week. I'm Tiara Spells, and I'm gonna go watch cat videos on YouTube.
Thank you, Tiara. So I'm gonna guess that your admission request to the Real Deal Furry Alliance is a hard no.
All right, well, I don't necessarily agree with your name of the Real Deal Furry Alliance.
You're right, it's the Furry Scaly Alliance.
Wait, so what's the difference between a furry and a scaly? Like, if I were to have my fursona be an animal without fur, but without scales, like an elephant?
So you want to be a furry?
What? No, I'm asking for a friend.
Sure. Let's hear what Marcos has to say, huh?
Okay, good idea.
Marcos?
Scrolling through social media often takes me to weird places, if I do it long enough. Recently, I stumbled upon some young girl who makes me cringe on a level of Rebecca Black and Jacob Sartorius. Jojo C is one of those celebrities that you look at and wonder, how in the world is this person famous? And then I dug a little bit deeper. Jojo C was actually 15, despite me thinking that she was much younger. The bright colors that seem to be ever present around her might lead you to believe that she is less than 7, but that's just not the case. Now, when I first encountered Jojo on the internet, I wanted to be a hater almost immediately. Then, the more that I looked into what she does and how she's gotten to the point in her career, being only 15, I couldn't help but be impressed. Jojo has been actively building her brand since 2013 by making music, YouTube videos, acting, as well as dancing. She has an estimated net worth of about $8 million, and she's only 15. And while the flashy colors, almost ridiculously large bows, and squeaky clean image aren't really my cup of tea, and are clearly marketed toward a younger audience, you can't deny the hustle. This teenager could pay my college tuition several times over, and is able to do so largely by her own work ethic. So even if Boomerang makes you cringe harder than teaching one of your adult relatives how to work technology, take some of that JoJo's Bows hustle and apply it to your life. I'm Marcos Carranza, and I'll see you later. Peace.
Thanks, Marcos. I'd give my review of your amazing segment, but it's shameless plug time.
That's right. We've got a Are You Not Entertained? Featuring lovely host Tyler Landis, along with teams Big Oof and Anakin's Younglings. Then we've got Unwind Rewind with our host Anastasia Scott.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and don't have the urge to get out of bed. And when I say sometimes, I mean every morning. The only time I feel at peace and the closest I can get to happiness is when I am just laying in bed hoping for the sweet release of death to sweep me away in the night. That and the show that you're watching right now, Mom, Dad, I've done it again. Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears, eyes, and your hearts because you're watching Are You Not Entertained?
So we're back, and I looked at more info about furry and scaly related things on the internet.
And?
So lots of naughty things.
Yeah, that's part of the community. You just gotta live with it.
No.
You know what? Let me talk you back into it while Landon talks about Cloverfield. Sounds good? Here's Landon.
Okay.
Most people that know me know that my favorite movie of all time is Cloverfield, a movie about a giant monster that ravages all of New York City. Honestly, pretty cool. And wait, this movie also follows a small group of people that are shooting the whole thing on a handheld camera? That's even cooler. But the best part about this film is the films that followed, are the ARGs involved behind the movies. If you are unsure what an ARG is an alternate reality game. In Cloverfield's ARG, you would find websites online that uncover little mysteries and secrets about the upcoming movie. I wasn't that involved in the first ARG for the original Cloverfield movie, due to how young I was, but once 10 Cloverfield Lane's ARG opened up, I was quick to jump on board. These websites you would visit would require passcodes and small clips from the movie that would uncover the origin of the monsters and uncover different things in the movie. ARGs have become much more common with the whole world using the internet now, and it's a great way for filmmakers to get their audience involved and hyped for an upcoming movie. The thing about Cloverfield that makes it my #1 movie is just how real it feels. And no, I do not mean that at any moment New York could be devastated by a giant monster. I mean the immersion it allows the audience to feel. The movie itself is great, but once you start looking into the mysteries and other small secrets, it starts to feel like reality. The ARG is a big reason why, but looking into it, you find that Taguruato, a major company that bases in Japan, causes all the events that happen in all the movies. The sea drilling incident that caused the monster in the first movie to wake up, the main character from the 10 Cloverfield Lane held a high position Taguruato and knew what was going to happen, and the Shepard particle accelerator from Cloverfield Paradox was created by Taguruato to combat the energy crisis on Earth. Now, I won't ruin the details in all 3 movies in case people haven't seen them yet, but you may be wondering, how did one company cause all these events? Well, Cloverfield series is actually an anthology of movies from different universes. Within these movies, Taguruato causes pure chaos. I know it still may be confusing and may not make sense, but that's where the ARG comes in to fill in the answers that aren't in plain sight. Essentially, Cloverfield has something that most other movies today don't have: effort. This is, of course, excluding Cloverfield Paradox because that was a crazy train wreck. But most movies today don't have a lot of effort put into them. You find a cliche story, throw a few interesting characters on it, and there's the movie. But with Cloverfield, you can see the effort to excite the audience and ways to get the audience involved and leave your audience wanting more. And if you don't know what Cloverfield is, or you do and haven't looked into the ARG, I definitely recommend getting online and checking it out. There's actually a subreddit you can visit that dives deep into the secrets behind Cloverfield, hundreds of YouTube videos that explain and show what the ARG is, and much more. Currently, the 4th installment is in the works right now, and I cannot be more excited to see it when it comes out. If there was anything I ranted about that sounds interesting at all, get online, check out the movies and the ARGs behind them. You will not regret it. I think that's enough ranting for now. I'm Landon Corbin, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Landon.
So, about that whole talking back into it.
We can't talk about this now. Tyler Landis has blessed us with his presence.
Tyler Landis, the famous animator?
No, Noah. Never that Tyler. Tyler Landis. It's the has-been host, Tyler.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what that means. It means I am coming hot with a brand new Fangirl. Now, when I was originally writing up this Fangirl, I was doing it on my favorite superhero trilogy of all time, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. However, while that would have been an amazing Fangirl, unlike a Fangirl over the Amazing Spider-Man movies, that would just be disgusting. I digress. You see, while putting the finishing touches on that Fangirl, a new trailer for a certain blockbuster film came out, Avengers Endgame. So I erased all that I had written down and started this new Fangirl. Let me tell you folks, I am not ready for this film. I don't think any of us are. It's gonna break me in more ways than one. I mean, for crying out loud, literally, Chris Evans cried 3 times during the first hour of this film. This movie is gonna be 3 hours long. That's 9 separate cries if we're, keeping a consistent tone throughout the film, which I think we are. And that's just the minimum number. This movie is going to destroy me. So before it rips me in half like a fresh loaf of bread and sends me back to a shallow grave, I'm gonna fangirl the precursors to this monumentous event by doing the fangirl of the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has quite a few movies claimed under its belt. Movies such as Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Escape to Africa. Honestly, that would probably be better than what we got. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Wakanda for Black Panther is the name of that film, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel. That's 21 movies in case you lost track. 21. The MCU is now legally allowed to drink and overthrow the government. Okay, maybe not that last part. Legally, anyway. Now, while not all of these movies are absolute bangers, the majority of them are. And even if you don't like the MCU, you'd be lying to say if they didn't affect the world somehow. It not only made superhero movies the most popular thing since the invention of cheese, and I know you're all thrilled about that, looking at you lactose intolerant people, but it also has changed the way the film industry works as a whole. I'm talking about cinematic universes here, people. With the success the MCU has had with expanding like this, it's no wonder others have followed suit. Granted, not very well, but still. Universes like DC and the Lego universe would not be where they are today if it was not for the MCU. The way the MCU has weaved their stories together is like nothing anyone has ever seen before. From the characters to the different themes from movie to movie, nothing feels like it doesn't fit, even if Thor: The Dark World is a dumpster fire that deserves to be snapped out of existence. Sorry, was that too soon? It still has a place in this grand universe of movies. Each movie seems to find a new way to revamp the franchise and make every installment feel like a completely different experience. Just when you thought you were getting tired of the boring old superhero movies, boom, they find a way to reel you back in, and your wallet may hate them for it, but your heart and childhood love what they're doing. The variety of films here is wildly diverse. I mean, Thor Ragnarok is a buddy comedy, while Civil War is like the exact opposite. It's a, dare I say, not buddy uncomedy. Two guys working out their issues with their fists comedy. It's not a comedy, but Winter Soldier is everyone's favorite, so there's that. Look, the point I'm making here, albeit very poorly, is that every movie can stand alone on its own and be great. But the fact that it is part of this larger world of cinema is what makes the MCU truly marvelous. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I've been Tyler Landis, and I always will be. Wakanda forever. Back to you, Noah.
Aw, look at Tyler dropping more fangirl segments for our show. So adorable when he tries.
You know, I think you're done.
You're quitting hosts like Tyler and Anastasia?
No, just this furry stuff. That's a no for me, dog.
Wow, that's pretty rough.
Shut up. Drop the furry crap. We're doing final words.
What's happening? Where are they taking her?
Take Dumbo back inside.
But she's his mom. Do something. He needs us. Look at me. We're gonna bring your mama home.
What are you people? It's just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
So here's a fun Abby fact. I love movies and shows based on true stories. To me, that is scarier than any horror movie out there. The stories have actually happened before and they could happen again, and that is scary to think about. I have a long list of favorites when it comes to these movies, and most of them are found on Lifetime, but one of my new favorites is found on Hulu. The Act is being released one episode at a time on Hulu, and I am already drawn so far in with just 3 episodes released. The story is centered around the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. This young girl was seen in the public quite a bit, and everyone saw how close her and her mother were. See, Gypsy was extremely ill, and her mother told her story in hopes of donations to help pay for the endless hospital bills. Or so everyone thought. It turns out that Gypsy's mother was faking the illnesses all along. She was basically poisoning her daughter with all of the meds and making her believe that there was something wrong with her. She forced her daughter to use a feeding tube, never let her eat sugar, made her lose all of her teeth, and made her use a wheelchair, despite nothing being wrong with her legs. She would even go so far as to shave her daughter's head so people would think she had suffered from hair loss. This led to handouts, people throwing money at them left and right to help them, a house being built for them after losing their old one, and so much more. Eventually, Gypsy started to catch on. She met a boy, and they formed an online relationship. She always told him that she was trapped and wanted an escape. He decided to help her, and he came to her house, killed her mother, and the two ran off. They are both in jail, and Gypsy is set for release in a few years. This show highlights all of how this happened. It starts with the discovery of the crime, and then it shows the events leading up to the crime. The neighbors are piecing together things that they feel they didn't look closely enough at before. And they are all trying to figure out how such a sweet, loving mother could have been murdered. Little do they know what was happening in the Blanchard household. At the very least, you should look up the real story and learn about it. It is incredibly interesting. I would strongly recommend watching the act on Hulu, though. The story is told so well, and the acting is phenomenal. Seriously, Joey King plays Gypsy, and she better win an award for this. Plus, you would learn about a crime that could be repeated in our time, and you could learn about the signs that people often miss in real life. I'm going to go home now and count down until the next episode being released tomorrow, and I hope you will watch as well. That's all I have for you today. Noah?
Yeah, thanks, Abby. I'll admit I struggled mightily with the ending of the Netflix original series Trailer Park Boys. I've talked about it before. It was a huge cliffhanger, and after the real-life death of John Dunsworth, who's a main character in the show, it seemed as though there'd never be a finale. But the boys are back, and this time they're animated. It took me a minute to get used to seeing my favorite characters in animated form, but after an episode or two, you get the hang of it. And we also find out how the show incorporates the death of one of its main characters into the plot. I've made it about halfway through the new season, and I can honestly say that it has potential to pick up more seasons from Netflix. And the consistent camera style, circular plot that the live-action seasons got, it was a little old by the end of season 12. And the animated version is fresh, gives the writers and cast some time to come up with some new ideas. While there's much to be said for the live seasons, the animated series gives the show endless possibilities. I really enjoy it, and I hope it gets renewed. When it's all said and done, Trailer Park Boys purists will need to take the new season with a grain of salt. First-time audiences might honestly find the animated version a little more friendly than the insanely perverse and raunchy live seasons. And the show has found a way to resurrect itself, and I'm here for it. Adios for now.
Thanks, Noah. Great final word.
And that's it from us here at The Real Deal. If you want more, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and our website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Noah Bullard.
And I'm Abby Perry. We'll see you next time on The Real Deal.